So you think you're ready for the Philippines? You've packed your sunscreen, you've practiced saying salamat, you've even watched a travel vlog or two. You feel prepared. And let me tell you, that feeling is adorable. Because the Philippines isn't just a place you visit, it's an experience that rewires your brain. I thought I knew what to expect. Sun, beaches, friendly people. And yes, you get all of that. But you also get a whole cultural operating system that is fundamentally different from anything I'd ever encountered. It's like showing up for a soccer match and finding out everyone's playing with their hands, and also the ball is on fire, but in a fun, festive way. This isn't your standard travel guide. We're not just talking about the best adobo or the most beautiful islands. We're going on a deep dive into the cultural quirks that don't make it into the brochures. These are the moments that will make you pause, tilt your head, and go, wait, is this really happening? Some of these things are incredibly heartwarming, the kind of stuff that makes you believe in humanity again. Others will catch you so off guard, you'll wonder if you accidentally stepped through a portal into a parallel universe where the rules of physics and social etiquette are merely suggestions. It's a place of beautiful, baffling contradictions. So buckle up, because we're about to unpack the delightful, the confusing, and the downright hilarious cultural shocks that await any foreigner or expat brave enough to call this incredible country home for a while. From the way people tell time to the way they bathe, from their relationship with family to their relationship with karaoke machines. This is the real Philippines, the stuff you only learn by living it. And trust me, once you understand it, you'll never see the world the same way again. Let's get into it. Alright, let's start with the first thing that will really test your patience: time. In Western countries, we treat time like it's super important, and once it's gone forever. We plan it out, we keep track of it, we even try to save it. If a meeting is at 9 in the morning, you show up at 8:55 to show you're serious. But in the Philippines, time is more like a friendly suggestion, a gentle guide. They call it Filipino time, which is a nice way of saying, we'll get there when we get there. It's not meant to be mean, it's not rude, it's just a different way of thinking. Being on time isn't the most important thing here. Good relationships and not getting stressed out are. So, let's say you've planned to meet a friend at 1 in the afternoon. You show up at 12:55, feeling good about being early. You wait. 1:15 comes around, you check your phone. 1:30. You start to wonder if you got the day wrong. Maybe you're in the wrong spot. Maybe your friend forgot about you. Then, at 1:47, your friend walks in, totally relaxed with a big smile and says, "Hey, sorry, traffic was bad." And you realize bad traffic is the common, no questions asked excuse for everything. It's like a free pass for being late, and everyone has one. Now, this can be really frustrating if you're trying to run a business or have a packed schedule. My advice? Just take a deep breath. Just accept it as part of how things are. But if you really need someone to be on time for something important, like catching a flight, you have to be smart about it. You gently tell them. You say, "Hey, we have to leave at 10 in the morning sharp American time." And you say it with a smile. It's like a little secret code that says, "I love your culture. But for this one special thing, can we please pretend we're in Switzerland?" It's a tricky balance, but one you have to learn. In many parts of the world, you might ask, what's for dinner? In the Philippines, the real question is, what are we having with the rice? Because the rice is a given. It's not a side dish, it's the main event. It's the canvas upon which the entire meal is painted. Breakfast? Rice? Lunch? Rice? Dinner? You guessed it, rice. I've seen people eat a full plate of spaghetti with a side of rice. I'm not even joking. It's a level of commitment to a carbohydrate that is both awe-inspiring and slightly terrifying. It's the foundation of the Filipino food pyramid. The first time you're invited to a Filipino home for a meal, you'll see the rice cooker. It's not just an appliance, it's a member of the family. It's always on, always warm, always ready to dispense fluffy white goodness. They have a term, extra rice, which is basically the national motto. You'll be eating and your host will hover over you, asking, "More rice? You want more rice?" Saying no is possible, but it feels like you're rejecting their love. It's like turning down a hug from your own grandmother. It's just not done. So what do you do if you, like me, occasionally crave variety? What if one day you wake up and think, a simple piece of toast would be nice? Well, you have to plan ahead. You need to become a carb hoarder. Stock up on your bread, your pasta, your quinoa if you're feeling fancy. Because your local Filipino grocery store might have a bread section, but it will be dwarfed by the aisle dedicated entirely to 100-pound sacks of rice. It's a staple, a comfort, and a non-negotiable part of daily life here. Embrace the rice, but keep a secret stash of sourdough for emergencies. Okay, let's talk about something that can be a real head-scratcher for many Westerners: relationships. Specifically, relationships with significant age gaps. In many of our home countries, a 20 or 30-year age difference between partners can raise eyebrows. It becomes the subject of gossip, speculation, and judgment. People start asking questions, usually involving the words gold digger or midlife crisis. But here in the Philippines, it's normal. It's so common that it's often not even a topic of conversation. You'll see an older foreign man with a much younger Filipina partner, and nobody bats an eye. Now, before you jump to conclusions, it's important to understand the cultural context. It's not always as transactional as it might appear on the surface. For many Filipinas, family is the absolute priority. An older, more established partner often represents stability and security, not just for herself, but for her entire family back in the province. It's seen as a practical way to fulfill her duty to care for her parents and siblings. It's a different set of priorities, where practicality and family obligation can be just as important as romantic love in the Western sense. This doesn't mean love isn't a factor, but the definition of a successful partnership is broader. It's a complex mix of companionship, mutual respect, and a shared understanding of responsibilities. For the foreign partner, they might find a level of care, respect, and family-oriented values that they felt was missing in their home culture. It's a dynamic that challenges Western preconceptions about love and marriage. It forces you to look beyond the numbers and see the different cultural drivers that shape people's most personal choices. It's a lesson in not applying your own cultural yardstick to someone else's life. I cannot stress this enough. If you think you understand the importance of family, come to the Philippines and get a masterclass. In the West, family is important, sure, but there's a huge emphasis on independence. You turn 18, you move out, you build your own life. You see your parents on holidays. In the Philippines, the family unit is not a launch pad, it's the entire spaceship. It's a sprawling, interconnected, multi-generational network that is the center of your universe. People often live with their parents until they marry, and even then, they might just build a house next door. This concept of family extends far beyond the nuclear unit of parents and kids. It includes grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, second cousins, third cousins you've never met but are still expected to know. It's a beautiful, supportive, and sometimes overwhelming web of connection. And if you marry into a Filipino family, you're not just marrying one person, you are being adopted by an entire clan. You inherit a dozen new titas, aunts, titos, uncles, and countless pinsan cousins. Your business becomes their business, your successes are their successes, and your problems are their problems. This comes with expectations. As the foreigner, especially if you're perceived as being more financially stable, there can be an unspoken expectation that you will help support the family. This isn't seen as mooching. It's the balikbayan or foreign spouse's role. It's about sharing your blessings. It can be a huge culture shock, navigating these complex family dynamics and financial expectations. It's a system built on mutual support and a deep-seated belief that you are all in it together. It's a beautiful thing, as long as you understand the unwritten rules of the game. Filipinos are famous for their hospitality, but you have to experience it to truly understand the intensity. It's not just being polite, it's an Olympic-level sport of making you feel welcome. The moment you step into a Filipino home, you are treated like royalty. Even if the family has very little, they will give you the best of what they have. You'll be sat in the best chair, fanned if it's hot, and immediately offered food and drink. And this is where the cultural dance begins. The offering is not a simple question, it's a friendly command. Your host will say, "Kain tayo," which means, "Let's eat. This is your cue. You must eat." Even if you just had a 7-course meal, you must at least take a little bite. To refuse food is tricky. In the West, if someone offers you a drink and you say, "No thanks, I'm good," that's the end of it. In the Philippines, no thanks is merely the opening negotiation. They will insist. "Are you sure?" "Just a little bit. I made this just for you." They will look genuinely hurt if you continue to refuse. It's not about forcing you, it's that sharing food is their primary love language. My advice is to just surrender. Arrive hungry. always. And when they offer you something, just say yes. You'll end up trying amazing things you never would have otherwise. The awkwardness comes from our Western need for directness clashing with their culture of polite insistence. They are trying to show you care and honor you as a guest. Declining can feel like you are rejecting their effort and their welcome. So, just eat the food, drink the juice, and enjoy being cared for on a level you've probably never experienced before. It's a beautiful, if slightly filling, cultural trait. If you're from a culture that values directness, like Germany, the Netherlands, or New York, the Filipino style of communication will be like learning a new language. It's a language of subtleties, hints, and things left unsaid. Filipinos generally avoid direct confrontation at all costs. They prioritize pakikisama or smooth interpersonal relationships over blunt honesty. Saying no directly is often considered rude or aggressive. So instead of a firm no, you might get a maybe, a we'll see, or a I'll try. You have to become a detective of social cues. You have to learn to read between the lines, to listen not just to what is said, but how it's said, and what isn't said at all. For example, if you ask someone for a favor and they get very quiet, look down and say, it might be difficult, that is a resounding no. They are giving you an exit, a way to back down without anyone losing face. If you push them for a yes or no answer, you're putting them in an incredibly uncomfortable position. It's a social dance where the goal is to preserve harmony. This can be frustrating in a business setting or when you need a clear answer. You might pitch an idea and everyone will smile and nod and say, "Good idea," only for nothing to ever happen. They weren't lying, they were just avoiding the discomfort of telling you they didn't like your idea. The key is to build relationships and trust. Ask open-ended questions. Instead of "Can you do this by Friday?" try "What do you think is a realistic timeline for this?" It takes more time, but it respects the cultural norm and ultimately gets you a more honest, albeit indirect answer. In the West, we're on a mission to be on a first-name basis with everyone. Your CEO might say, "Just call me Bob." It's a sign of a flat, informal hierarchy. In the Philippines, it's the exact opposite. Titles are not just for formal settings. They are woven into the very fabric of everyday conversation, and they are a huge sign of respect. You don't just call your friend's mom Susan, you call her Tita Susan. Tita means aunt, and Tito means uncle. You use these for your friend's parents, your parents' friends, and sometimes even a friendly shopkeeper who is older than you. It doesn't stop there. An older sister is 8, that's pronounced ate, and an older brother is kuya. You use these terms for your actual siblings, but also for older cousins, friends, or even the guy who serves you at the canteen. It's a way of showing deference to their age and experience. And it's not just family-based titles. Professional titles are a big deal. If someone is a doctor, you call them doc or dra, for a female doctor. If they're an engineer, it's engineer. An architect is architect. It's a sign of respect for their hard-earned profession. At first, it can feel a bit strange, like you're in a constant formal gathering, but you quickly realize it's actually quite beautiful. It instantly creates a sense of community and familial connection. When a stranger calls you kuya or sir, there's an inherent respect built into the conversation. When you call someone tita, you're not just being polite, you're acknowledging them as a respected elder, almost like a temporary family member. It makes the whole society feel like one big, sprawling, respectful family. Just remember to use them. You know how in some places a little rain doesn't stop anything? People just pull out an umbrella and get on with their day. That is not the Philippines. Here, rain is not just water falling from the sky. It's a legitimate, plan-canceling, city-stopping event. And I'm not talking about a typhoon, which is a whole other level of serious. I'm talking about a regular, heavy downpour during the rainy season. You might have plans to meet friends for dinner, and then you get a text. "It's raining so hard. Can we cancel?" At first, you might be confused. It's just rain, what's the big deal? The big deal is flooding. The infrastructure in many cities, including Manila, can't always handle a sudden, intense deluge of water. Drains get overwhelmed, and streets can turn into rivers in a matter of minutes. That quick trip to the mall can suddenly become a multi-hour ordeal involving wading through knee-deep, questionable-looking water. Public transport can grind to a halt. It's not that people are afraid of getting wet, it's that they're afraid of getting stranded. So, a crucial expat skill is becoming an amateur meteorologist. During the rainy season, roughly June to November, you learn to check the weather forecast obsessively before making any plans. You learn that a dark cloud on the horizon isn't just a pretty sight. It's a potential reason to stay home and order in. You also learn to appreciate the sun in a whole new way. A clear, sunny day isn't just good weather, it's a green light from the universe to go out and live your life. The first time you listen to a casual conversation between two Filipinos, you might think you're having a stroke. You'll hear a sentence that starts in English, weaves in some Tagalog, throws in a bit of slang, and then finishes back in English. It's not English, it's not Tagalog, it's Taglish, and it is the unofficial language of the Philippines. This constant, fluid back and forth is called code switching, and it's completely normal. A sentence might sound like, hey, let's go to the mall. Bili tayo ang something to eat. That means let's buy something to eat. It happens because English is one of the country's official languages. It's taught in schools and used in business and government. As a result, many Filipinos are bilingual and can switch between languages effortlessly, sometimes in the middle of a word. They'll use the English word if it's more efficient or common, like computer or cell phone, and the Tagalog word if it better expresses a certain feeling or concept. It's a linguistic dance that is incredibly efficient for them, but deeply confusing for a newcomer. You don't need to become fluent in Tagalog to survive, but learning some basic phrases will go a long way. Simple greetings like magandang umaga, that's good morning, and polite words like salamat for thank you and po, a particle used to show respect, will earn you a lot of smiles. It shows you're making an effort, and over time, you'll start to pick up on the common Taglish phrases. You'll find yourself saying things like, make kain na, which means, let's eat now, without even realizing it. It's a sign that you're truly starting to integrate. In most countries, karaoke is something you do occasionally, maybe at a party or after a few too many drinks at a bar. It's a novelty. But in the Philippines, karaoke is not a novelty. It's a necessity. It's honestly a fundamental part of the social fabric, as essential as rice and family. Every celebration, from birthdays to baptisms to just a random Tuesday night, is a potential excuse to break out the Magic Sing microphone. It's the national pastime, the national therapy, and yeah, the national method of annoying your neighbors. You'll find karaoke machines everywhere. Bars, restaurants, homes. People rent them for parties. There are even coin-operated karaoke machines on street corners. I'm pretty sure I saw one in a dentist's waiting room once, and Filipinos don't just sing, they perform. They have their go-to ballads, usually by powerhouse singers like Whitney Houston or Celine Dion, and they sing them with a level of passion and sincerity that is both impressive and, honestly, slightly intimidating. Everyone is expected to sing, regardless of talent. Refusing a turn at the mic is like refusing food. It's possible, but super awkward. Now, for the culture shock part. This love for karaoke means you will hear it. A lot. Your neighbor might decide to have a karaoke party that goes until 4 in the morning on a weeknight. The tricycle driver waiting for a fare might be belting out a heart-wrenching version of My Way. It can be a serious source of noise pollution and sleep interruption. My advice? If you can't beat 'em, join 'em. Learn one go-to song. It doesn't have to be good. The effort is what counts. Or, invest in a good pair of earplugs. You'll need them. Let's move into the bathroom, because this is where some of the most practical culture shocks happen. You might walk into a bathroom in the Philippines, especially in a more provincial home or even some city apartments, and notice something missing: a shower head. Instead, you'll see a large bucket or drum filled with water and a small plastic dipper, known as a tabo. This is not a backup system. This the shower. Welcome to the world of the tabo. The process is simple. You use the tabo to scoop water from the bucket and pour it over yourself. You lather up, and then you rinse by pouring more water over yourself. For Westerners used to the constant hot spray of a modern shower, this can feel primitive at first. You might be thinking, how can I possibly get clean with this? But it's surprisingly effective. You learn to be efficient with your water, and you have complete control over where the water goes. It's a mindful, deliberate way of bathing. There are a few key things to remember. First, you do not get the bucket. The water in the bucket is meant to stay clean for rinsing. You stand next to it. Second, it's actually incredibly water efficient and eco-friendly. You use far less water than you would in a typical 10-minute shower. It's a system born of practicality, especially in areas where water pressure can be low or inconsistent. So embrace the taboo. It's a humbling experience that connects you to a more traditional way of life and makes you appreciate the simple act of bathing in a whole new way. Sticking with the bathroom theme, let's talk about a small detail that can cause a major panic: toilet paper, or rather, the lack thereof. In many public restrooms in the Philippines, in malls, bus stations, restaurants, you will find a toilet, and you might find a tabo or a bidet sprayer called a bum gun, but you will very rarely find toilet paper. This is a shock to the system for those of us who consider TP to be an inalienable human right. The first time it happens, it's a moment of pure cold dread. The reason is simple. Most Filipinos use water to clean themselves, not paper. The bidet sprayer or the tabo and water system is the primary method of hygiene. Toilet paper is seen as secondary or sometimes not necessary at all. This also has to do with plumbing systems that can't always handle wads of paper, leading to clogs. So from their perspective, water is cleaner and more practical. For a foreigner, it's a moment of truth where you realize you are very, very unprepared. The solution is to create what I call a Filipino comfort kit. You must never leave the house without your own personal supply of tissues or a roll of toilet paper. It becomes as essential as your wallet and keys. You also throw in a small bottle of hand sanitizer, because soap can also be a rare commodity in public restrooms. You learn to be self-sufficient. It's a small adjustment, but a crucial one for your daily comfort and peace of mind. Always be prepared. That should be the motto for every expat in the Philippines. Let's talk about money, specifically the concept of utang, which means debt. But it's more than just debt. It's a complex social custom of borrowing and lending that is deeply ingrained in the culture. In the Philippines, it is very common for people to borrow money from friends, family, or neighbors. It's not seen with the same stigma as it might be in the West. It's a part of the communal support system, a way for people to get by between paychecks or handle an emergency. Someone might ask to borrow a few hundred pesos until payday, and it's generally expected that you'll help if you can. This system is built on a concept called utang na loob, which translates to a debt of gratitude. It's an internal, non-monetary debt. If someone helps you, you owe them. You are expected to repay the favor in the future, not necessarily with money, but with loyalty and support. This creates a web of reciprocal obligations that holds communities together. Someone lends you money for your child's medicine, and you, in turn, will help them with childcare or fixing their roof. It's a beautiful system when it works. However, as a foreigner, this can be a very tricky landscape to navigate. You will likely be seen as wealthy, whether you are or not, and you will almost certainly be asked for a loan at some point. This puts you in a difficult position. Saying yes can open the door to more requests, and you may never see the money again. Saying no can be seen as rude and can damage a relationship. The best advice is to be cautious. It's generally wise to avoid lending money, especially large sums. Instead, you can offer help in other ways, like buying groceries or medicine directly. It's a way to show you care without getting entangled in complex financial obligations. Imagine you're visiting a friend's house. You walk up to the front door. What do? You knock, or you ring the doorbell. It's automatic. In the Philippines, there's another way, a method that is far more common, especially in neighborhoods and provincial areas. You stand outside the door or gate and you call out, "Tao po!" It literally means person here. Or there is a person. It's a polite, gentle way of announcing your presence. It's a fascinating custom when you think about it. A knock can be startling, aggressive even. A doorbell can be jarring. Tao po is softer. It's a question and a statement in one. It's saying, "Hello, is anyone home?" A human being is respectfully waiting outside. It comes from a time when doors were often open to let the breeze in, and you wouldn't want to just walk in, so you'd call out to see if anyone was around. The tradition has stuck, even with solid doors and fancy gates. The first time you hear it, you might be a little confused, but you quickly learn to recognize it. And when you start using it yourself, it feels incredibly Filipino. It's one of those small cultural adaptations that makes you feel like you're no longer just a visitor. You're participating. It's a tiny thing, but it's a powerful symbol of a culture that prioritizes a gentler, more human way of interacting, right from the very first moment of arrival at someone's doorstep. So next time, instead of knocking, try a friendly tao po and see what happens. The Philippines is one of the most devoutly Christian nations on earth, with over 80% of the population identifying as Roman Catholic. And this isn't just a go-to-church on Christmas and Easter kind of faith. Religion is deeply and visibly woven into the fabric of daily life in a way that can be startling for someone from a more secular country. You cannot escape it. You will see rosaries hanging from the rearview mirrors of jeepneys and taxis. You'll see statues of the Virgin Mary, known as Mama Mary, in homes, shops, and even corporate offices. Every day at set times like noon and 3 p.m., you might hear the Angelus prayer broadcast over the loudspeakers in a shopping mall, and you'll see people stop what they're doing, pause their shopping, and quietly observe a moment of prayer. Major religious holidays like Holy Week are taken incredibly seriously, with entire cities shutting down. You'll encounter religious processions, festivals for patron saints, and blessings for everything from new cars to new businesses. It's a public, communal, and constant expression of faith. For an expat, this can be fascinating. It's important to be respectful, even if you're not religious yourself. This means dressing modestly when entering a church, being quiet and observant during religious moments in public spaces, and understanding that faith is a core part of the identity of many people you'll meet. It informs their values, their worldview, and their sense of community. It's a powerful force that has shaped the country's history and continues to shape its present. You don't have to believe, but you do have to respect. If you want to communicate with someone in the Philippines, don't bother with an email. Don't even think about leaving a voicemail. The main arteries of communication here flow through text messages and, most importantly, Facebook Messenger. The entire country seems to run on Messenger. It's not just for chatting with friends, it's for business, for customer service, for coordinating with your landlord, for ordering food from the local eatery. It is the default, all-purpose communication tool. This is partly because mobile data can be expensive or spotty, but many places offer free, limited access to Facebook and Messenger. This has made it the most accessible and reliable way to stay in touch. People will give you their Facebook profile as their primary contact information. You will be added to dozens of Messenger group chats for your building, your neighborhood, your group of friends, your family-in-law. Your phone will be buzzing constantly with notifications from these groups. So the number one piece of advice for any new expat is this: download Facebook Messenger and get used to it. It will be your lifeline. If you're trying to get in touch with a company and they're not answering their phone, try sending them a message on their Facebook page. You will likely get a response almost instantly. It's a culture of instant, mobile-first communication, and if you're not on the platform, you're practically invisible. Forget email etiquette. You need to master your emoji and sticker game. You might think that roosters are just for farms, quaint symbols of country life. You would be wrong. In the Philippines, roosters are everywhere. I mean everywhere. You can be in the heart of a bustling modern city like Cebu or Manila, surrounded by concrete and high-rises, and you will still be woken up at 4:30 in the morning by the triumphant, ear-splitting crow of a rooster. It's a sound that defies urban logic. You'll look out your window expecting to see a field, and instead, you'll see a Jollibee and a 7-Eleven. Cockfighting is a hugely popular and legal sport in the Philippines, which means that many men raise fighting cocks. These aren't just any roosters. They are prized athletes, and their owners keep them in their backyards, on their rooftops, or sometimes right outside your bedroom window. And these roosters do not adhere to a sun-up, sun-down schedule. They crow when they feel like it. They crow at 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning, noon, and whenever a car alarm goes off. They are nature's most unreliable and most persistent alarm clocks. There's not much you can do about it. Complaining about a neighbor's rooster is like complaining about the heat. It's just a part of the environment. You can try to get used to it, to let the sound become a part of the ambient noise of the city. Or, and this is my pro tip, you can invest in some high-quality, industrial-strength earplugs, or a white noise machine, or both, because your sleep schedule is now at the mercy of a feathered creature with a god complex and a very loud voice. Welcome to the neighborhood. We've talked about using titles like tita and kuya, but the respect for elders in the Philippines goes even deeper. It's demonstrated in a beautiful physical gesture that you will see every day. It's called mano po. When a younger person greets an elder, a grandparent, a parent, an aunt or uncle, they will take the elder's hand gently and press the back of the knuckles to their own forehead. It's a sign of reverence and a request for a blessing. The elder will often respond with "God bless you." This isn't just a quaint, old-fashioned tradition reserved for formal occasions. It's a living, breathing part of the culture. You'll see children doing it when their grandparents visit. You'll see teenagers do it when they arrive home from school. It is a fundamental lesson in respect that is taught from a very young age. It reinforces the hierarchy of the family and the community, where elders are revered for their wisdom and experience. As a foreigner, you are not necessarily expected to perform the gesture, but seeing it is a powerful reminder of the deep cultural value placed on respecting one's elders. Beyond the mano po, this respect shows up in many other ways. You always use the particle po or opo when speaking to someone older than you to show politeness. You don't talk back to your elders, you serve them first at meals. It's a stark contrast to some Western cultures where youth is often celebrated above all else. In the Philippines, age brings with it a status and a level of respect that is truly profound. It's a beautiful system that ensures the older generation is always honored and cared for. In the Philippines, you can never just return from a trip. Whether you've been to another country or just another island for the weekend, you are expected to come back bearing gifts. This tradition is called pasalubong, and honestly, it's a very big deal. Pasalubong are souvenirs or gifts that you bring back for your family, friends, and coworkers. It's not just a nice thought, it's a social obligation. Leaving for a trip and not bringing back pasalubong is considered thoughtless or even selfish. The gifts don't have to be extravagant. Most often, they're local food specialties from the place you visited. Like if you went to Cebu, you bring back dried mangoes or lechon. If you went to Baguio, you bring back strawberry jam or peanut brittle. For foreigners returning from their home country, this can mean stocking up on chocolates, a bottle of wine, or some novelty item that just screams, "I came from abroad." The act of giving the pasalubong is a way of saying, "I was thinking of you while I was away." It's a way of sharing your travel experience with those who stayed behind. This definitely puts a bit of pressure on your travel plans. Your souvenir shopping is no longer just for you. It's kind of a mission to acquire enough small gifts for everyone back at the office or in your family. You learn to pack an extra bag just for pasalubong. The upside is that you will also be on the receiving end of this tradition. When a friend or coworker comes back from a trip, you can expect a little treat to appear on your desk. It's a constant, delicious exchange of goodwill that really strengthens social bonds, one snack at a time. Let's talk about romance in public. In many Western countries, it's common to see couples being openly affectionate. A passionate kiss on a street corner, a long embrace in the park, it's all part of the scenery. In the Philippines, though, the culture is much more conservative and reserved when it comes to public displays of affection, or PDA. While holding hands or a quick peck on the cheek is generally fine, more overt displays are often frowned upon. You probably won't see couples having a full-on makeout session in the mall food court. This all stems from a cultural value called haya, which is a complex concept meaning shame, shyness, or a sense of propriety. There's a strong emphasis on modesty and not drawing undue attention to oneself, especially in a romantic or sexual way. People are very conscious of how they are perceived by others, especially by elders. Being overly affectionate in public can be seen as bastos or rude and lacking in good taste. It's not that people aren't passionate, they just believe that those moments are best kept private. So, as an expat, especially if you're in a relationship, it's something to be mindful of. You have to read the room. In the bustling, more westernized parts of Manila, you have more leeway. But in more rural or conservative areas, it's best to err on the side of caution. It's a culture that really values subtlety and modesty in public life. The deep connections are there, but they're expressed in quieter, less visible ways. It's a reminder that love and affection can be shown in many different forms, not all of which need to be on public display. The Philippines has a national sweet tooth, and I mean that in the most extreme way possible. If you think you know sweet, you need to recalibrate your entire palate. Filipino desserts and sweet snacks often reach a level of sweetness that can be genuinely shocking to a foreigner. The bread is sweet, the spaghetti sauce is sweet, even the hot dogs are a sweet, bright red color. It's a flavor profile that leans heavily into sugar, and they are completely unapologetic about it. Take Halo Halo, the famous national dessert. It's this glorious concoction of shaved ice, evaporated milk, and a dozen different sweet things from the bottom like sweet beans, jellies, leche flan, which is a caramel custard, and ube, or purple yam, ice cream. It's a symphony of sugar. Or consider brazo de Mercedes, a meringue roll with a rich custard filling that is pure, unadulterated sweetness. They use condensed milk, evaporated milk, and heaps of sugar with an enthusiasm that is both impressive and, honestly, a little bit daunting for your dental health. When you're ordering drinks like iced tea or coffee, be prepared. The default setting is very sweet. If you prefer things less sugary, you have to learn to ask for it specifically. Less sweet, please, or less sugar will become a key phrase in your vocabulary. It's not a criticism of their food, which is amazing, but simply a different baseline for what is considered a normal level of sweetness. So prepare your taste buds for a sugary adventure, and maybe book a dentist appointment in advance. So there you have it. 21 little shocks to the system, 21 ways the Philippines will gently, and sometimes not so gently, remind you that you're not in Kansas anymore. It's a country that operates on its own unique frequency. A place where time bends, where family is everything, where a rooster can be your mortal enemy, and where a bucket of water can be your best friend. It's a constant exercise in letting go of your own cultural programming and learning to float in a sea of beautiful, baffling, and brilliant new norms. And the truth is, we've only scratched the surface. For every cultural shock we've talked about, there are 100 more waiting for you. There's the way people point with their lips, the obsession with skin-whitening products, the intricate system of gift-giving at Christmas, the fact that basketball is played with an almost religious fervor in every neighborhood. Each one is a new puzzle, a new story, a new reason to fall even more in love with the beautiful chaos of this country. Some days it will frustrate you, other days it will make you laugh until you cry. But every single day, it will teach you something. It will teach you patience, it will teach you community, and it will teach you that there are a million different ways to be human. The real journey here isn't just about exploring the islands. It's about exploring the incredible warmth and complexity of the Filipino heart. So keep exploring, keep asking questions, keep an open mind, and most importantly, keep your own roll of toilet paper handy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.